Hi, welcome to Activity 3.2. In this activity, we are going to tease apart yet another blended lesson. Let's get started. Our lesson for this activity is a Stage 3 lesson that involves use of Google Images and word processing software. We will be using microscopy as a science topic. Like the last lesson, at the end of the video, you will grasp the strategy behind creating a blended lesson. Real learner examples will help you understand how these lessons translate to learning experiences for students. Here's the blended approach chart again. The fun approach to getting students to use the internet is usually a web quest, where they roam through the web in search of an answer to a question posed by the teacher. It goes without saying that these web quests can be very much a part of the science classroom and about the science lesson. Let's take a look at all the digital skills they will need to learn. Keywords, finding information, finding images and captioning them, copying and inserting, and shifting between one software and another. You will also be teaching them how to save and retrieve their work. As always, we start with the two-step approach. Step 1. Identify an ICT skill-specific activity. For Stage 3, that would be choosing two applications to work with and creating an activity that involves use of images and text. One such activity can be creating a report with appropriate pictures. In Step 2, we will need to think of a science activity that involves creating a report. This could be documenting an investigation or a procedure. If you've taught students to examine microscopic slides, they can describe through the report how to prepare a slide and view it through a microscope. The activity would have them finding pictures using Google Images and putting together a report based on the experience with the microscope. Again, here are some tips to create an effective lesson. Since this is the first time they're working with a browsing application, demonstrate the use of keywords and how to select and paste a picture. If you're working with learners not fluent in English, then we suggest that this be the first internet-based activity you do with them. Like we said before, it's important to ensure that you've turned on parental controls and safe search options on your browser. It may also be simpler if a report or document template is created as a worksheet that they will simply have to complete. Doing a report on a computer is fun for new computer learners. The excitement of working with the computers takes away the possible dullness of a reporting activity. When they're selecting images, ask them to choose the one closest to what they have observed. Use the different images offered in the search results as a discussion point for why they may be different. For instance, this could be because of the magnification of the lens or simply because not all specimens are the same. Like before, you can keep the language of the report flexible based on the levels of your students. Again, Stage 3 need not be restricted to only lab reports. Although this is not related to science, students may find it fun to recreate and explain a dream sequence and find images resembling their dreams. You can also use Google Images to create picture stories of important scientific events and discoveries. If you're interested in encouraging students to be precise and accurate, suitable science activities can range from lab reports to creating summaries of recent science news. If they have made a model or a project, you can even encourage them to write down instructions so that their peers may be able to replicate that model or project. Like the last video, we're now going to take a look at some of the lab reports made by our students. Students were asked to report what they learned about the parts of the microscope while examining onion peel cells. We created worksheet templates for them to fill in. Most of them only spoke Hindi, a prominent language in India. In black are their responses. You'll find that they have used English alphabets to type out Hindi sentences. In red below is a verbatim translation in English. And here is what Learner 2 did. And finally, here is what Learner 3 did. We would like to highlight again that all these learners were beginning to use computers only in the science class. They had never worked with computers prior to beginning this blended curriculum. To do such an activity, students had to show competence in Google Images using the MS Word software in order to communicate what they had learned about the microscope. As they progressed through their 4 stages, their science classes were always novel with a new activity that they had perhaps never attempted before. In parallel, their English and computer skills was also showing remarkable improvement. This course is intended specifically for computer naive students, especially from non-English speaking countries. A simple 4 to 6 week curriculum, such as the one we've just described, might be a great platform to first close the digital gap that many of these students find themselves facing. With a basic set of digital skills, their ability to improve their science learning is quite limitless, as many of the courses within the HP Catalyst Academy and outside demonstrate. Before we all make that huge and exciting leap, your next step will be to evaluate the performance of the learners. Thanks for watching.